So you went from a sales leader to industry influencer, and you closed over $6 million in online sales and played a pivotal role in helping others achieve this Inc. 5000 recognition. So tell us, like, were you always kind of a sales expert growing up? Did you, sell lemonade, on a lemonade stand when you were like a kid? Where did it all happen?
I wish I had one of those stories. That would be way cooler. I wish, man. I was kind of the opposite. I was a nerdy. I couldn't close a door, actually. I did not come out of my mother's womb with sales skills, that's for sure. I grew up never thinking about sales and never having that be something on my mind. I was more of the kid who was playing with Legos and who wanted to become an engineer. And that's
Oh,
actually where I did go, and that is the path that I started on. However, it is not where we ended up today. That's for sure. A
so
lot
did
has
you study
transpired.
engineering?
What was that? Yes, mechanical, medical, and ended up becoming a medical device engineer. And that was the start of my journey and my career. And that had a short stint because God had other plans, man.
So how long did it run for the mechanical engineering and medical?
Literally, I mean, I loved engineering in school. However, once I got into the real world, I just had a feeling in my body that I knew it wasn't for me, but I kept pushing forward because I didn't know anything else. I didn't see another path. I didn't see any other way to proceed. It lasted about a year and a half. I had like one contract role that they brought me in and then just needed me temporarily. And then I got one real W-2 role, one that I was really excited about here in San Diego. And what happened off the back end of that was the biggest irony, which is I was designing implants for spine surgeries. So these are products that help people with nerve pain. Like if you ever have tingling or pain, I was literally helping design the tools and the implants to get rid of that. And I actually started getting nerve pain on the job. I'd never even
What?
heard of nerve pain before. I'd never even been around nerve pain, never experienced it in my life. And while on that job, I started to actually get nerve pain to the point where I couldn't focus, I couldn't type, I couldn't use a computer, and ultimately ended up getting fired from that role because I couldn't focus or perform. And at the
Got
time,
fired or got severance or got some sort of
I got
sick note?
fired, man. Yeah, it was wild. This was back in 2019.
Okay, let's just pause. So you got fired for trying to do a job that helps people cure spinal injuries, and you got nerve pain on the job, and because you couldn't focus, they fired you.
Correct.
That's huge irony.
It's massive irony.
So was it like hand pain or nerve pain in the hands?
Right hand. Yeah, right hand started off one day. I was at my desk and my right thumb just started twitching. And I was like, what is this? Started spazzing.
So
And then, yeah, it's crazy.
wait, how did you get it, and how did you deal with it?
How did I get it? I don't know, man. No doctor could really pinpoint that. To me, as I look back, the best explanation I have is a spiritual redirection. It started as a
Mm.
nudge that was somewhat subtle and then turned into a tap and then turned into a full-on train hitting me and knocking me out. And it was like, you're not on this path anymore. You have no choice. And the craziest thing was I had just invested in my first coaching program, and they have you do declarations. It's called ALA. It used to be in San Diego. It's now in Austin. Really cool program with Jenna Phillips Ballard. They had us do declarations, which is like kind of like prophesizing. It's like a vision, right? It's like
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I said it's 60 days or less until I quit my job. I said I'm going to move to Costa Rica. I said I'm going to get a van. I'm going to be surfing. I'm going to make more and not be an engineer. And the day that was Sunday night, and Monday morning got the message and they fired me. And that was the start of me getting into sales.
Did you move to Costa Rica and surf?
It took a little bit of time, but we did absolutely get there. And I lived in Costa Rica for 7 months in the jungles of Dominical. And that was the first sales role that I landed in the high ticket space was with Taylor Conroy, who is an absolutely incredible speaker. He gets on TEDx Talks, helps people get on TEDx Talks. When I got on the very first meeting with him, group call, he was in a pool in Costa Rica on Zoom, like a crazy man, shirt off. And I literally DM him in the private chat and Zoom and said, I'm coming to Costa Rica. He's like, what? I was like, how many deals do I need to close this month? I just got the role. I said, and you're paying for it.
What?
Yeah. So like that was my first high ticket role was with him, and he said 17, so I went at 18, and then I bought my flight. He's like, "Hey man, let's plan when you're coming." I was like, "Oh, I already bought the flight. I'm coming this weekend." He was like, "Well, I'm not ready for you." I'm like, "That sucks. That's unfortunate. I'm already coming."
Wait a
Uh,
minute. So you were staying at his place?
yeah, at first I went out there and I stayed with him for like a week or two, and then I ended up his partner, his girlfriend helped me find a spot, and I went and lived on my own in the jungle out there. But there was a lot between getting fired and getting to the point of landing that first role. There was a lot of development and a lot of work on the health, the skills. It was not that quick of a progression, that's for sure.
Okay, so I'm actually genuinely curious about how forward you are with your intentions. Like Taylor wasn't expecting you to DM him. He wasn't thinking that you're gonna buy a plane ticket. He didn't think that you're gonna come that, soon. He wasn't expecting you, nor did he invite you. What is it about your forward intentionality that has helped you in who you are and what you do today?
I guess that's initiative. It's like
Uh-huh.
as a sales leader now, like the biggest trait I'm looking for is not permission seekers. I'm looking for people who actually take initiative. Not that they're trying to override my boundaries, but that they're trying to push the limit in a positive way. Like that's the kind of people I'm looking for now, right? And that's who I was. I was like, I knew what I wanted. I was going to go after it, and even if he said no, I was going to find a way and go out there. So it was like I knew what I was committed to, and I find that the reps who are most successful know what they're committed to, and they have a why.
I love that. I think that's so cool because when I was helping manage or direct, the people that were the most difficult or challenging were the ones that were just constantly asking. I wanted people to initiate and make mistakes and apologize later if that makes sense because I
Yes,
needed
fail
go-getters, I
forward.
needed initiators, right? So I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, fail forward rather than ask for permission. Go break stuff. I'd
Yeah,
rather that problem than reliance. Totally, totally. So it was
and
a
interest
humble beginning, man, and so much transpired to get to that point where I got that first role, but that was the one that launched me into this world.
amazing. So in Costa Rica, okay, you're in the jungles. What made you go into the jungles of all places? Is that just how much?
It was a vision that was just given to me, dude. It just felt it was on my heart. I wish I had some like I knew that I wanted to surf. I knew that I wanted to have the warm weather. I knew and it all just fell into place. As I look back, everything just fell into place, man.
So
Once you actually
are you off the grid in the jungles? Are you with like
I wasn't
indigenous
off the grid. I
people?
did have Wi-Fi and electricity, but with storms and like the infrastructure, like Wi-Fi would just drop or power would just go out and you're on a Zoom call. But usually what would happen is it'd be like a bad sales call. And then God, universe is like, nah, I'm hanging up for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. That
How
was
about good
usually
ones? Any good ones where you were closing and then boom, everything's gone?
definitely that happened once.
Okay.
And then I have to call them back or I have to like run into town, get service again and try and save it. I don't know. There were a few funny moments like that for sure.
Um, and
Or
not to
I just took their card info. I just collected
uh,
payment and then the power went out. So they're like, this guy's a scam.
oh my gosh. Um, I had two people that I know that lost their lives in Costa Rica,
Really?
swimming and surfing.
That's fair.
So that's a real thing, right?
I
I
mean,
think
there's some
people.
intense currents, and I've had some scary moments in the water out there. I, I, I would
Our
go with
Costa
a
Rica
guide.
waves are different. It's
Yeah,
the riptide is
depends which
different there.
beach. Yeah, it depends which beach. Just like that in Bali, there's some scary spots. You need to be prepped for it. I wasn't really
Wow.
prepped for it.
And did you learn how to surf?
I did. I learned how to, but I had already gone to Costa Rica prior, and that was where I did learn to surf. Is back in 2017 when I graduated college. That was like I've always felt called to go to that country for some reason, and that was
Mm,
graduate engineering school. Went out there and just was like, I'm going to go learn to surf, and I did. So I'd already had that skill the second time when I came back, and I returned and actually lived out there.
neat. Now, where did you land after Costa Rica?
Always San Diego. That's
Okay,
home. Born and raised here. Went to school here. Friends are here. Communities here, and I can't leave this place. It's impossible.
nice. Um, So you talk a lot about emotional intelligence in sales. Like, how did you first realize the importance of emotional intelligence in sales? And maybe for the rest of the audience, what is that? And how has it shaped the way that you connect with potential clients and close deals?
Yeah, there's two parts to that. When did I first realize the importance? It traces back to the foundations. When I went through that ALA training program, that gave me a lot of the foundations of extreme ownership, of responsibility, of understanding the stories that run in our mind and reframing ourselves. And that was where I started to develop that muscle to influence myself first back in 2019 when I started going through those programs and putting in the work. And in terms of how I see it connecting day in, day out on calls is the capacity to read someone, to feel someone, to not assume, to tune in, to be responsive, to be connected, and actually help that person get their needs met. Because usually when you're selling, people have conflicting parts. And it's up to us to recognize as leaders, what are those conflicting parts in them? The part that wants to play big, the part that wants to play small, and actually help them come into alignment so that we don't let that smaller part kind of drive the show. Oftentimes with these more emotional programs that we sell, they're emotional decisions, right? And it requires them stepping into a new identity. And we've all heard those in reels and shorts. And it's one thing to know the frames or to know the word tracks, but I guess it's another thing to actually have the emotional capacity to tune in, to care, and to do that from a place of service. That's like the differentiation I want to make.
And I think that's the lost art of listening is that the ability to connect, the ability to feel, the ability to help. Sometimes when you and I are getting on these calls to audit these closers, they start out with a good intention, but then it gets to a point where sometimes there's like, I got quotas to hit, I got commission to make, I got ends to make meet, and so it becomes this like, how can I close every single person versus how do I hear what they're really struggling with, and can I actually help them? If not, how can I send them, in a direction that can help them versus like, hey, I got to close everything and make as much commission as possible. How do you find that tension, whether you're closing or whether you're teaching other closers that their founders want them to grow and scale?
How do I reconcile that, or how do you mean?
Yeah, yeah. How do you reconcile that? Or people who are just really gung ho and hungry, they have a good intention, like as closers, to want to like crush it, but there's a an overstepping of like, you know what, the actual person wasn't the right fit, or they weren't the right client for us. Sometimes you have nightmare clients, right, that you bring on and they pay a little and make a lot of headache, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it comes down to what do you define as success? And like the surface level for every sales rep would be closing deals. And don't get me wrong, like that is our outcome. I think if I look at like people I've worked with, like Michael Dunleavy, he's an incredible trainer, or I look at Cole Gordon, and what do they actually put attachment on? And it's like getting to the truth. To me, the biggest gift that we can give a prospect is clarity around what are the consequences of their choices in either direction, and simplifying that for them. Here's one choice, here's another, here are your options, and actually helping them through our skill questions get true clarity of what it looks like. Because most of these people a lot of them are living in avoidance, or they're not really seeing the truth for what it is. They're seeing things from a distorted lens. And so like we can kind of clear that lens for them and then give them the choice, because I can't force them. But as long as I feel like I got to the truth in that call and I really gave it my all, then I can sleep at night. The truth of their actual financial circumstance, their current situation, their desired situation, what's actually been holding them back, not just from a logical level, but from an emotional level. If we're getting all those things, presenting the opportunity clearly and making it make sense, like I feel like I won.
Well said. And how does someone like yourself and other people who are listening here, get in front of like, Cole Gordon's, Andrew Cruzy, Patrick Jones, Jeremy Minor? Like, that's not normal. Like, are
Mm-hmm.
you paying your way in? Are you bribing people to introduce you? Like, what is it that helps you, get in front of these, incredible human beings?
Say one word: resourcefulness.
Hmm.
Resourcefulness, right? And what I mean by that is every offer I was on, I was always looking for how could I be more resourceful and make more out of the opportunity I already had, where a lot of other closers had an attitude of complaining, lack of gratitude, looking at what's not working. I think I attribute a lot of that to Matt Ryder, because when I first got that gig with Taylor Conroy, I had invested in Inner Circle. Marco Cortese was my sales rep on that call. Do you know Marco?
I don't know him personally, but I
Okay.
know he's a
I know of
beast.
him. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like the $1 million a month closer who was doing 100K in commissions a month. And
Oh my gosh.
being around them, they just had a different attitude, a different perspective on how to be resourceful. And that differentiator of resourcefulness gave me reputation and credibility and authority, which then attracted those opportunities rather than me having to actually hunt them. Because when you're truly good at what you do and you're engaged in different sales communities and you're going to those programs and you're making the most of your coaching programs, you're becoming a testimonial for those coaches. They end up being a billboard for you and vice versa. So like I really made a point of using the coaching programs I was in as well, being resourceful in those, being resourceful in the offers I was on, and that would always lead me to the next opportunity naturally. Like I've never had to go through very rarely have to go through a formal application process or anything. It was always just like, yeah, let's have the call. Like we're good.
Amazing. And that's what I was even sharing with you offline was I can't remember the last time I did an interview, because when you're resourceful and helping people, whether it's your clients or people that you're closing for, they're going to want to keep you on and get your help, right? So so beyond sales, you're passionate about emotional intelligence and understanding how it drives authentic connections and sustainable business growth. When you do live events or DM in sales, what are some best practices that help you close more deals and build stronger relationships? Like some people would be like, I don't know how to close in the DMs, or in a live event, whether it's stage selling or you're doing some high ticket closing. This is a two-part, DM sales and live events. What are some best practices?
Yeah. I love both of those. DM sales, super fun. I didn't have a passion for that until working with Andrew Cruzy.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe he has some of the best, probably the best DM sales training I've seen. Super, super highly recommended. I can drop a link to one of his YouTube videos, one of his master classes on it. And when it comes to DM sales, the skill is frame control within DMs. And the best way I could put it is like kind of like flirting. DMs are a lot like flirting and texting and dating. They really are. And that we want to, and I learned this all from Andrew, is we want to inject emotion, we want to pique curiosity, and we want to open loops. The one thing I really got from him was the ability to open loops and hold frame. So I'll give you an example of a joking holding frame. If a prospect asks for a resource in the DMs, I'll just say no. And then I'll go, and then the second after I'll go, JK, LOL, here it is. Right? Just like slight flex that I'm in control. It's like a joke, like a little power dynamic, right? That's like a little fun one. Like it's playful banter in the DMs that just absolutely crushes it, because it spikes in emotion. And once someone's getting emotionally engaged in the conversation, I'm getting them to actually stay in the back and forth. And every message, every next bit is like they're hooked onto the next thing. Or sometimes I'd be like, hey, I got a quick question for you, ... And now they like, the response rate on that is insane. People have to know, it's like the end of the movie. Like they have to know what the next scene is. It's the cliffhanger. So with DMs, I'm constantly doing little open loops or cliffhangers or pushing them away. Things like, oh yeah, like we can definitely help with that. And some people, get that in the program. But let me ask you this. So like I'm seeding the idea of the program, but I'm not pitching them on a call. I'm not moving them towards the next thing. So I'm pushing and pulling. It's literally like pickup game.
It's interesting. I love that analogy. And for the rest of the people who are listening, when you say pique curiosity, you said open loops and hold frame. I mean, I understand what that means, but can you explain in simple English, if someone doesn't know sales or they suck at it, what does it mean to open loops and hold frames?
Let's start with the frame first. On DMs, it's like the skill is to always be leading. So an example of leading, like one of my favorite phrases that I got from Andrew is, it's so simple, but once you realize it's a leading word, is let's do this. So let's jump on a call. We'll help you map out X, Y, Z and 1, 2, 3. Whether we work together or not should be super valuable. If that doesn't sound crazy to you. So I'm leading, I'm pushing in a direction, and then I'm pulling back, and I am asking a follow-up question rather than, hey, are you open to jump on a call? Like these little subtleties in how they feel and how they're perceived. One is like permission seeking. One is like, this is my recommendation. What are your thoughts? And it's leading. I'm initiating. I'm driving a direction, and then I'm inviting them to the party. Versus like, do you want to join my party? One frame is, this is the freaking party. It's epic. You coming? The other one is like, would you like to join me? You can see how they feel different, right?
Yeah. It's like
So
Urkel, desperate, hoping that someone will come and like, please join, versus this is already happening. Whether you're there or not, it's going to be amazing. But if you join,
slightly assumptive. It's not in like it's not like a assumptive in a overly assumptive way, but it's like, no, like, the value. You're not going to try and overcook it.
You said, let's jump on a call to map out XYZ, and I missed the last half of it.
Yeah, whether we work together or not should be super valuable for you. Next message, if that doesn't sound like a stupid idea, and that's straight from Andrew. I want to give him props where props are due. He usually says, can I make a suggestion? Is the first message. People say yes. Let's do XYZ in 1, 2, 3. Make sure that that is specified to them and actually sounds relevant to the conversation. And then the next message is, if that doesn't sound like a crazy idea to you, or if that doesn't sound stupid to you. That book a call 1, 2, 3 is working with him. I self-set like 600K of self-sets out of Facebook and school in this year.
Hey, for real? Oh, that's insane, dude.
Yeah, it was wild. That's just like 180-20, like knowing how to even just go for that call. And I've helped many other setters with that. I mean, the pause breathwork team that I'm leading, they're using that little transition. And there's a lot more to it, but that's like it's a little tidbit, it's a little appetizer, right? Of like what's available on the DM sales. I believe there was one other side that you asked. One was, we talked about framing, and the other side you wanted clarity on was what again?
Open loop.
Open loops are just like having that playfulness in the conversation where you're seeding an idea or it's something that they need to close the gap on. Bringing up ideas, not actually following through on them, and then continuing to talk about the next thing. So it's like you're seeding these ideas that we can plant for later, subtly. I think the example I gave before around when someone describes one of their challenges, you're like, oh yeah, that's something we definitely work with our more advanced clients in the inner circle. But let me ask you this. You're not pitching them towards the inner circle. You're just seeding the idea. And so what you find when you plant that seed later, they might, hey, what is that inner circle thing you mentioned? They come back to it because I didn't push them to it. I just injected the idea, and it's more subtle. Like we keep the conversation going. They're like, wow, this is really valuable. I wonder what that thing is that he mentioned earlier, that little breadcrumb.
Interesting.
So I'm pushing them away from it in a way. I'm not like, I'm bringing it up. I bring it up, but I want to drive them towards it.
I was doing a sales training in Ty Lopez's masterclass, and there was like 200 sales reps, and then one guy, because I wasn't there to sell any of my stuff. I was just there to offer value, and one guy, I think 3 times in a row, was like, so how do I join what you're doing? How do I buy your stuff? And it was like an awkward thing because I'm like, I'm not selling anything here. I'm not trying to pitch or solicit or poach or anything like that. So I said, you should go back to such and such point person because, the Black Belt Mastery Program is awesome with Ty. So, follow back with them. And then I even asked the director of fulfillment, like, if people are coming to me and I'm not even soliciting them or DMing them and they're adding me and they're messaging me, like, what do you want me to do? They're like, that's free game, bro. If they're coming to you and you're not soliciting, that's a free lead for you. That's us saying thank you for offering value, and maybe what we're doing is not for everyone, right? So I appreciated that they I wanted to ask permission because I don't want to assume.
Totally.
But
smart.
I think what you said is like when you see the idea and you give so much value, and it's this playful banter of like, I'm not gonna pitch slap you. I'm not gonna like, try to be forceful in taking the card out of your wallet, but we can help you, or at least we think we can help you. And so if we can, this is how we work with our clients. This is some of the results that we've been getting with someone in your industry. And then just leaving it there and pausing, like, they're like, so how do I get those results? Or how much does it cost to work with you? Right. It's
when they start asking those questions and then once again, holding frame rather than answering the questions directly. Yeah. Happy to clarify that. Why do you ask?
Yeah. Well
I'm
done.
still
Well
still
said.
leading, right?
I love it. I love it. I can tell you are an absolute savage, and you've done the reps, right? I mean, setting 600K for Andrew in Facebook is just
Yeah, we did
unbelievable. That's insane.
all organic JVs, DMs, no paid ads. So it was a really cool experience, and I was trying to figure out why was I going through that experience, and I think it was just laying the foundation for what was next. Because I went backwards in a way. I did closing, being the inbound closer, Jeremy, Taylor, Sarah, and then went back to self-setting. I was like, that seems backwards.
I was just going to say that seems like a backward move for most, because once you are closing, which you get, typically double the percentage commission, 10% in high ticket sales on cash collected, 5% on setting. And if you do end to end or full cycle, that's like 15, 20%, depending on who you're closing for, that would be like, okay, why would you go down to that role, which seems like a quote unquote lesser role and half the commission?
Yeah. I mean, I did negotiate like a good comp for it because I was
Okay,
doing
good.
it.
Good,
Yeah, it was
smart.
a higher comp.
Okay, good.
And still, I was doing a lot of manual outreach and follow-ups and managing like a Airtable of DMs, but that gave me the foundations now to feel like more of a full stack rep, where anytime I'm leading a cider team, I can actually relate with them. It's like I can get in the trenches with them and do the thing rather than just talk about it.
See okay, everyone who's listening here, when you know that you're working with a head of sales or sales director, but they haven't cut their teeth or got wet behind the ears to actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, that's a hard sell. Because if they don't understand and have not done the work, they don't understand the amount of energy, effort, bandwidth, and challenges and the victories of setting and closing. So if you're a founder and looking to scale, make sure you look up someone like a Mason Church, who has put his reps in, who has, been in the trenches doing all this work. I want you to address live events, because it's something actually I don't think I've ever addressed in like 120 plus episodes.
No
So
way.
stage selling, right?
Dude, so
Stage
fun.
selling, live events. Talk about that.
Yeah. Andrew really gave me two core skill sets working with him. And these are things that he's incredibly good at. If you guys want to learn more, I would say on the DM sales side, he's great at DM sales training and live events. He's also fantastic. He did his first Tribe of Buyers event back in, I believe, 2019, 2020, right around then, and did 1.1 mil in a day. He had gone through Alex. Yeah, he'd gone through Alex Moscow's training, put 60K into that, got the whole 3-day framework, put 200 people in a room. And when he pitched on that event, he actually bombed the pitch.
He did?
Completely bombed the pitch. And this is well known. He froze. He had an out of body experience. He froze up and came out of the freeze and said, "Hey guys, I don't want my inability to pitch right now to stop you guys from getting into a life-changing program." And one person started clapping. Another person started clapping. Whole room starts clapping, standing ovation. He's sitting there like, what is going on?
What?
Even more out of body now. And for the next 3 hours, it was cowbell after cowbell, because they had a cowbell for closes. So it's like ding, 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 25K, ding, 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 25, just bang, 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 bang. They did 1.1 mil in that event. And so when I decided to, incredible, absolutely insane. When I got to work with him, I got to start to learn how he runs events and see his 3-day structure and see how each one leads into the next, see how we seed beliefs through testimonials, see how we prevent objections, how we create emotion. And we did 2 events together in the last year, and crushed it at both of them. The second event was, we had 25 people in Cabo. I didn't expect to pitch though.
Oh, you didn't?
No, he was supposed to pitch.
You weren't prepared?
Not at all.
What?
Not at all.
And then what happened?
There's there's certain details I can't share, but for good reason. He looks at me and he just goes, "Dude, you're better at this than me anyways. You pitch." And it was 10 minutes before the pitch on day 2
How
of
were
our
you
event.
feeling?
I was like, I didn't have time to feel. I just locked in, right? You're just like, killer instinct kicks in. And you're like, game on, let's go. I walked up there in front of the 25 people who we had live, put up a 1-page Google Doc, which I had never read before, and
Are you for real?
started pitching our 25K offer in front of 25 people. And we closed 175K. And then we had a mixed room, which was really cool, of some current clients, some past clients, and some new potential clients. And
Made
the ones
175K.
yeah, we closed 175K that day, 24 hours. And yeah, I was just running around the room, man. Because usually what I've seen in these smaller events around 20, 25 people, it's not like a storm the back of the room thing. It's really a shoulder tap thing. Hey, like physically, you do have to walk up to someone, tap their shoulder, and say, hey, what did you think of the offer today? I don't know. Don't care if you buy or not. Just curious. What did you think? And have a conversation with them. Because if you don't initiate, remember, it comes back to that leadership we talked about earlier. They won't do it. That was like one of the smallest key details that I learned, because we did the first event. I didn't know that. And Eli Sanchez was there at our first event that we ran, and we closed in the room. And I watched how he ran the room, and I was like, got it. So event number 2, I brought a whiteboard, and I would just bring my marker, my whiteboard, and go tap shoulders and say, let's map out your game plan. Let's, remember that word, let us, it's the leading language. Let's map out your game plan. Let's take a look at your business. Yeah, cool. Of course. Makes sense. Slightly assumptive, because it does make sense. They're here for their business. And we go down, you sit down, you put the freaking, where are you at? Where do you want to be? You do a visual close with the whiteboard and congratulate them, get them to freaking hit the bell. And then the momentum just freaking takes off. Because once the first 2 go off and we celebrate them, and then we ask them in front of the whole crew, hey, just want to congratulate you. Why did you decide to join today? That's a testimonial. Who's selling who? The prospect is selling all of my other prospects. I'm not doing it. They are. And then the momentum builds at the live event, and it's so fun. So I'm really stoked. Since I just joined with Sam Skelly, her highest converting is live events. We're going to do a ton of those together, stage sales, and it's a blast, man. I don't know, what questions do you have on that? Because there's a lot there to unpack.
I've got a bunch.
We can jam on stage sales. It's fun.
Okay, so you're on stage with Samantha Kelly, Skelly, right? Skelly.
This event was with Cruzy, but I will be doing events with Sam Skelly moving forward. Okay. So I was with Andrew at that Cabo event.
Okay, so let's talk about what you've done then. So with Andrew Cruzy, well known. You look at the top names, and seems like a lot of roads, if not all roads, lead to him in terms of their success and scaling, which is awesome. I love that. So you're on stage, he's a big guy and well known, and he tells you that you're better at him at pitching this thing live stage 10 minutes before. So you said, like, you just don't have time to think, and you kind of step up to the plate and just put your big boy shoes on.
Pants on, yeah.
Right? Big boy pants on. And it's not like a group of 100, which might even be easier. But when you have a smaller group, because you're like, what if nobody buys, right? Because you have a smaller pool. Like, what kinds of things were going on in your body, in your mind, in your emotion when you're put on the spot and you're asked to step to the plate as an MVP player?
Nothing. It was just pure stillness, actually.
Pure stillness, is that what you said?
Yeah. It was a flow state. It's like one of those states that you wish that you could get into all the time.
That's one amazing.
Yeah, it just literally just stepped into flow state, because it's like flow usually happens at the intersection of the right amount of skill set and the right amount of challenge, the experience and everything. And when those can morph together, and it's right at the perfect intersection where it's not beyond it's stretching your capacity, but not to the point where it's impossible, but it's definitely beyond what you've done. That's where the flow, like that intersection, is where it kicks in. And so just like, I blacked out, dude. I did the pitch. Everything was prime. I wish it was recorded. I was so sad that I didn't get recorded, but I didn't have time to, I didn't think, man. There was no
they didn't record it?
Somehow it didn't get recorded. So it's like, the receipts are there.
Yeah.
But it was a flow state. I didn't actually feel much during it. I was just in flow. Like, I wish I had some answer, like, oh, I was nervous or something like that. I actually felt the opposite. It just like kicked in, locked in, and went into like calm, which I was surprised. And that's incredible. That's what came through. It was cool, man. I was like, all right, let's do it.
And I think, like you said before, like, when you're in the trenches and you're in the war or you're in the battle, that's some of the best ways to find out whether you have the right setter or closer. It's not in when things are going well. It's when things don't go well. Or when there's, the pipeline is dry, is the seller going to
Marketing's
take
not
off?
working.
Right. Is CRM not working? Then are they gonna pick up the phone or the power dialer and start calling, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's being resourceful, and like you said before, right? What can you offer to the table versus complaining about what the current, present
Circumstance.
situation is.
Yep. 100%.
I love that. I love that. Um, okay, so we're coming to, like, I know we're coming to an end of our time, and thank you so much for all this.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot, so this is great.
Yeah.
You mentioned selling is serving, and that's something that is huge in terms of how I teach. Selling is serving, and even my whole mantra, sell more to give more, as a
Mm.
key principle. How do you coach your clients to view sales not as a transaction, but as a way of serving their clients and making a positive impact?
Yeah. I usually have them reflect on where they've come from to get where they are now and recognize how these interactions, how these conversations, the mentors, the leaders, the coaches they've had, how that's been a key attribution to get them to where they are today. And to look at those uncomfortable moments that they had someone step out of their own way, help them get out of their own way so they could actually move forward and remove limitations and blocks in their life. It's just
Um,
it's seeing the impact it's had on them and then connecting to that purpose moving forward of like that's what I'm actually here to do. Like, yes, we're going to make money. And that is going to be a byproduct of you doing what you're supposed to do, which is serving.
you also mentioned that I don't know if it was a new thing that you came to faith in God. How does that drive or help you in the roles that you're playing in head of sales, as a setter, as a closer, as a manager, and just business?
I used to make money an idol.
Mm,
And so my value system was skewed. It was
mm,
backwards. It was oriented in the wrong way. And what that meant to me was that my joy was rooted in circumstance.
mm,
It meant that my joy was rooted in circumstance of the day, the month, the week, the performance, and the constant feeling of not ever being enough or whole was always present in sales.
mm,
Even though I had all the validation externally that you guys have seen, even after selling 6-7 million online, doing all those things, there would still be those parts that come up. And I guess for me, it wasn't until I actually accepted that level of faith of God into my heart, into my body fully, that eliminated. And I put out a YouTube video. It's pinned on my page. I'm really proud of that one. I've never been like proud of a video, but I'm really stoked on that one, which goes through a lot of the personal development I went through, what I tried, and coming to that conclusion that like I went and did mushrooms in the jungle. I've done over 120K in personal development, tried all these programs, limiting beliefs and all these things. And that sense of enoughness and wholeness never came through until that
mm.
shifted. And that shift has been recent. This is like the last 90 days after 4 or 5 years of
Wow.
kind of being on a emotional hamster wheel, as I'd like to call it. And yeah, going to church. It's like wild to say that last name's church. So I've been laughing about that,
Yeah.
but the signs were there. Everything was nudging me towards it. And it's just been like total clarity for me, man.
Wow. So you went from, spending $120,000, which is, you're looking for answers. I mean, clearly you're spending the money, you're doing mushrooms in the jungle, and you're saying faith in God, going to church, and I love your last name. It is prophetic in some ways. That is a recent shift within the last 3 months. So what is it about, I don't know, God or going to church or faith is helping you get past that feeling of, needing to feel better or validated when you don't need that anymore? What's the secret sauce here?
It's like nothing that you could do in this physical world is really going to give you that enoughness, is basically what it comes down to. It's like that's something that's like a gift that you already get by default.
Hmm.
And once you have that and you understand that and you embrace that, you accept it, then for me, it feels like everything else is just a win in a game that we get to play to see how far we can expand. And a true recognition of like, I believe that most of us already have what we need, like our genuine
Hmm.
needs are met. And it's a game of getting more of what we want in life and expanding.
Hmm.
And coming from that frame, from that place of just like gratitude. And that's the space. So yeah, that's a huge shift. And that's where I'm operating out of right now. And in terms of how does that affect everything, I mean, it changes the game, man. I don't know how else to say it. It's kind
No,
of like,
I completely understand because I'm actually living and experiencing it right now as well, and it makes all the difference. Like you said, I love that you can come to a place in your faith in God and community in a church where, like you said, nothing in this world is ever going to be enough. But once you have that significance and security that God can give, everything is a win. Life is a gift, and that game that we play is like just the fact that you and I are talking today. That's a win, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Clean air, got some
Yeah.
freaking great coffee, sunshine. Like
100%. Amen, brother.
we get
Attitude of gratitude. Yeah.
100%.
So we're on the lightning round, which is getting to know Mason in the last 60 seconds. So
Let's
your
go.
morning routine. What does your morning routine look like, especially as a high performing sales leader? Because you know what? Not all sales people or sales leaders are equal.
Yep. It's not the same every morning. However, get up, make your bed, get outside right away and go for a walk. And I usually do that without my phone. It's that simple. I just go for a walk and have space and quiet. Walk down to the lagoon right here and go hang out, put my feet in the grass, chill, reflect, come back, make a cup of coffee, do some breath work, meditate for 5 minutes, and then roll in if I feel ready. Or I'll go. I have a gym at my home, so I can go do a little bit of movement or stretching just to get my body, and then I feel good. And one of the things that I've been testing out is waking up without an alarm and moving my phone just out of my room. Because I've found if it's in my room and in my space, then immediately I'm in reactivity and I don't want to operate from that.
How do you wake up without an alarm, without if you have like an appointment that you need to meet?
I set my appointment and my schedule so that I have buffer.
Oh,
And
okay.
I just don't take early appointments. I wake up when I
Okay.
want. I just decided
Oh,
that's
that's
something.
amazing.
Yeah, I just decided that that's how I'm going to operate.
I love that. So all the time is with you and God in the morning. What time do you start operating or taking calls?
I don't start taking calls until like 11 because like 9 to 11 is usually deep work, like focus time.
Yeah.
Wake up around 7:30, have hour and a half to do whatever I want at first, and then 2 hours of just like focus work uninterrupted. I have a 2 hour block on my calendar, and the night before I pick what are the top 1 to 2 things in that block, and then nothing else really should be done during that time.
Love it.
Yeah.
Favorite sales tip. What's one sales tip that has consistently worked for you, whether it's in the DMs or live events? I know we covered a lot today, but it could be something that you already said or something that's even new.
Hmm. In DMs, it's the ability to challenge your prospects, right? To if they're in their status quo, asking something like, "Hey, can I challenge you on that as a coach? Can I offer another perspective?" People don't realize that you can challenge people in the DMs and actually offer another perspectives and break. I don't even want to say break beliefs, but help people shift to beliefs that are actually going to serve them rather than hold them back. And
Mm.
you can objection handle a bit in the DMs. And a lot of the best deals I've had have come off the back end of people who started to want to waffle and push off doing anything. And then I challenge them in the DMs and they come through, we book the call and they say, thank you.
Wow. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Most people don't know you could actually do that. They're just trying to like find a time to get a call, but it's like, you're really selling in the DMs truly, which is fun.
Any
And
tips for the live events?
yeah, make sure you have past clients there.
Mm.
So that way they can do like workshops during it and also just edify the heck out of you. Your best clients should be at those events. Bring them, let them speak, let them have their own workshop and get their own authority and credibility, but also pump you up because
Also, let them run some of the workshops so
yeah,
that
let them have a
okay.
speaking spot 100%. Like the best clients, let them have a speaking spot, let them run a workshop on their expertise. And we would have those clients offer bonuses as well that are only
Mm.
event bonuses. Those clients would help us out. They'd be like, hey, I'll offer 2 1-to-1 sessions for anyone who joins today. So our past clients are also throwing in bonuses.
Oh, okay.
So it just gets really fun. Like you're throwing
That's
in like killer
cool.
bonuses. This is an event only offer this weekend.
Ooh.
That's it. And spicing it up with just fun bonuses. The one thing I wish I would have done differently is that you differentiate between the bonuses from pay in full versus payment plan. Because if you don't, everyone takes the freaking payment plan. That's for sure.
Right.
So
That's right.
lesson
Always have the paid in full fast action bonus.
yeah, it gets bonuses on both, and make sure that it's killer for pay in full.
I love that. So they still win.
Yeah, 100%. Either way.
Personal, either quote or Bible verse that helps you stay focused and motivated.
That's a good question. Quote or verse?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if one comes to me right now.
Sure.
I think I don't know if my motivation comes from quotes or any verses right now. I think it maybe comes from the impact I want to have and like expanding. My motivation is different than it used to be. It used to be tied to a number, and now it's about an identity and evolving into what is that next level. And like, as corny as that sounds, like I think that's what
No,
actually,
not at all. I love it, actually.
I think that's what actually motivates me right now. I don't think I have a verse right now or a quote. If one comes to me, I'm happy to share it.
100%. What's a hidden talent that many of your clients or maybe audience might be surprised to know or discover?
I'm a really good dancer.
Ooh, really? What kind of dancing and where'd you learn?
Hip hop and bachata.
Wow. Okay.
Mom put me in hip hop when I was a kid.
And what's the second one? I'm not even familiar with that.
Bachata. It's a salsa. It's like salsa and bachata, so it's like a Latin partner dance.
Oh, okay.
Super fun. I freaking love bachata dancing. So I put out on my YouTube and on my TikTok. I have some shorts on there of me dancing, actually.
Oh, very cool.
On the dance floor doing partner dances, and yeah, that's something that brings me a lot of joy.
Awesome. Last question. Best book for sales success. What book has had the most impact on your approach to sales and leadership?
Best book for sales success. It might not actually be directly a sales book. I think The Go-Giver, I think, is a great short read.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The Go-Giver is
okay.
That's the mentality.
Or how about this? Because I mean, you've had a lot of heavy hitters, sales experiences. What's the most significant impact that as a mentor or coach has had on you in sales?
From a foundational perspective, I give a ton of credit to Jeremy Miner. I give a ton of credit to him. The foundations that he gave me on how to actually interject, how to control calls, tonality, pacing, cadence, like on most of the offers I've been on, there's just these little fundamental skills that most people don't have. They can't really control calls because they don't know how to interject and lead. And I think he's probably one of the best, if not the best, at tactfully interjecting and running calls and keeping them in track. And that's something that I'm always grateful for. That helped me out a ton.
Amazing. Well, we've run out of time, and I want to thank you so much. I grilled you in a good way to,
barbecue, man.
Yeah, barbecue. Grilled all the genius. Well, not all, but some of the genius. And obviously, you're a deep well. You can tell.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belfort, stacking penny stocks.